Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new video. So this is going to be my first book haul of the year. There are a lot of books here. Please excuse my voice. It's kind of like cracky and I'm congested. I have a cold right now, so please excuse that. But I have a lot of books here that I have hauled recently. Most of them I bought. Some of them were gifted. But yeah, most of them I bought because I am who I am. I will say that I have made the intention this year to try to find most of my books used if I can. So I either find them at like thrift stores or half-price books, or I'll use two apps that I use mostly, Pango Books or Depop. So if I can find them on Pango Books or Depop, usually I'll order them from there. And if I can't find them used, then I end up obviously having to buy them new. But I have been trying to be more intentional about buying books used if I can. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far. Most of these I have bought used. Some of them, obviously, if they're new releases, I buy them new. But most of these I've found used. I'm pretty happy about that. So without further ado, let's get into this giant stack of books. So I'm not going to be doing these really in any particular order. Like I've got my reading journal here and I actually keep track of the books that I haul. So I'll be kind of doing them in a rough order of like when I bought them, but some of them it's just like they'll just I'll mention them even before I actually bought them. So anyways, it's also so disorganized. The stack is just huge. So the first book up is Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna McGuire. This is the newest release in the Wayward Children's series. So I did have to buy this one new, but yeah, this was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. So I ordered it right away. It came out right at the beginning of January. Yes, I bought this. I should also say I'm not going to be giving pretty much any synopses. Most of these I have read. Well, maybe about half of them I've read. So you can always check my wrap-ups if you want to know my thoughts on them, but there's just too many to go into like a synopsis. I'm not going to do that. So these next few I bought for a video that I did of reading Ashley's favorite books or reading books recommended by Ashley. So if you don't know Ashley from Ashley's Little Library, she's one of my besties on BookTube here. And her and I have very similar reading tastes in my opinion. So I decided to put that to the test and pick up some of her books that she loves or that she would recommend to me. So the first one I've got here is Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemor. I found this one on Depop. It's a hardcover and it's in really good shape, so I was really happy to find it, and I think I got it for less than $10, and it's like retail price like $27, so I'm pretty happy about that. I do know that she recommended this one to me. I think I just messaged her and said, what book would you recommend me if you could only pick one? And this was the one that she picked. So I bought that one. I also bought The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. This was also a Depop find. I kind of scoured her Goodreads before messaging her about what book she would recommend to me. And I saw that she gave this 5 stars and her review said how much she loved it. I really like the cover, but the premise of it is kind of interesting, so I was interested in picking that one up, and when I saw that she loved it, of course I had to give it a shot. And then one of her favorite books of last year was The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. So this one really wasn't on my radar at all, but because she loved it so much, it's kind of like a dark YA kind of horror. It's obviously a retelling of Frankenstein, and she really enjoyed it, and I was kind of in the mood for something dark, so this was one where she said she would recommend me this or Una Out of Order, and I just decided to pick up both. This I also found on Depop. The next book I have here is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I picked up The Sorcery of Thorns by this author, or Sorcery of Thorns by this author, and I really enjoyed that one. And so I was excited for this new one to come out. It's like a YA kind of fantasy. I found this, where did I find this? On Depop. Yeah, so apparently I really used Depop in the month of January. This one came with like a letter from the author, which was kind of cool. And I read this one for a 24-hour readathon that I did with Jan and Sarah. I was just in the mood to get into some more fantasy, and I did want to get to this one, so I'm glad that I found this on Depop, and then I picked it up right away. Another fantasy that I really wanted to get to was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This was another one I found on Depop. This is like a Russian folklore kind of Beauty and the Beast retelling. And last year, at the end of the year, I read the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden, so like The Bear and the Nightingale and those books, and I really loved it, and they are very heavily influenced by Russian folklore, so I wanted to give this one a shot. I read Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik, and that one was just okay, but I wanted to try this one because obviously I really like Beauty and the Beast retellings, so I figured it was finally time to pick this one up, and of course it was on Depop, so I had to get it. And going along that same vein, I picked up A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I actually picked up the whole series. Let me find the other books. So I got the whole series. I found this one on Depop, and I found both of these on Pango Books, and they're both Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. And this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that's kind of what I was going for. This gets compared to ACOTAR a lot, which is one of my favorite series of all time, and I think the only comparison is that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So but I really enjoyed this one, and so while I was in the middle of reading this, I picked up the other two, and I actually don't know that I plan to continue with this series because it follows different characters, and I don't know that I want that. I just really liked the main character in A Curse So Dark and Lonely, but I did end up finding these for really cheap and in the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions, so I do have these. These next ones I'm going to mention all together because I bought them for a very specific purpose, and that is these random mass market paperbacks of these like old school fantasies. I don't intend on reading any of these at all. I just really like the covers, and so that's why I bought them. I usually don't read books if I don't intend to read them, but for some reason these ones just like really wanted to be on my shelf. So I have 4 books in the Wayfarer Redemption series by Sarah Douglas. I really like the covers, like especially this one. I just love it. I'm like, this one just looks so cool. I just really like the old school mass market paperback fantasy covers, like Tor Fantasy. Who knew, right? So yeah, that's the only reason I bought them, was because I like the covers. And then I have 3 of the Wheel of Time books. So this one I actually got from Brandon. He had it in his classroom, and I was like, I want this, and he was like, just take it. But like, I just really like the like old school mass market paperbacks. So I have these. I mean, I don't intend to read them at all, but I do have them, and they are on my shelves. I did haul them at the beginning of the year. I also picked up a copy of I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. My voice is starting to go. This is already going to be, I'm not even halfway. Anyways, we're just gonna push through it. I have been watching Criminal Minds with Brandon, and so I wanted to read like a true crime book, and this one is the one that got recommended to me the most. So I found it on Depop for pretty cheap, and I just decided to pick it up. I also found a copy of The New Wilderness by Diane Cook on Pango Books. This was my first book that I found on Pango Books, and they gave me like a $5 like welcome credit. So I only paid $3 for this like nice hardcover. I picked this up because first of all, I saw that Ashley wanted to read it this year. It's like one of her 22 books to read in 2022 or something like that. But also because the synopsis kind of reminded me of Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey, which is an incredible book. I gave it 5 stars. It's like set in a kind of post-apocalyptic world where most animals are extinct and there's not very much wilderness at all. And that is a very fascinating concept to me. So I wanted to pick it up. And when I found it for so cheap on Pango Books, I just couldn't pass it up. I also picked up a copy of King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. I luckily found this one on Pango Books used as well. I think it's a newer release. When was this released? Yeah, 2021. But it was Jody's Patreon book club pick for the month of January. And I missed reading it in January because I couldn't find a copy of it. But I did end up reading this in February, and I really liked it. This isn't a wrap-up or anything, but I found this on Pango Books, and it just gives such From Blood and Ash vibes, which I also really love. So I did want to give it a shot, even though I missed like the Patreon book club for Jody, but I did still want to pick it up, so I bought my copy of it. Then I have my book of the month books from February. So my book of the month pick for February was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Basically, I picked this one because it was the only fantasy option for the month, but also because I saw on Goodreads like before the synopsis, it says, compares it to House of Earth and Blood plus some other book. And I immediately was like, yeah, I need to read that, but I don't get the comparison at all. I don't think it's anything like A House of Earth and Blood. Like, there's just, I don't get it. I'm annoyed that it says that. So anyways, I did pick this one specifically because of that though. So this was my book pick for February. And then I added on These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I originally didn't feel like I had any intention to read this one because I'm not a huge Romeo and Juliet fan, but I saw Brittany the Bibliophile read and loved this, and I wanted to give it a shot, so I decided to add it on because it's a book of the month option. Who knew? And the cover is so pretty. I also bought a copy of These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. This book gets compared to ACOTAR meets The Cruel Prince, and after reading it, I can stand by that comparison. I get where they're coming from with that comparison. But I saw Jan read this and she absolutely loved it and gave it 5 stars. And Jan and I do not have similar reading tastes, but I did already intend to pick this one up because of the comparison there. And the synopsis just sounded like something that I would be interested in. And I wanted to read it. It seems like it would be a really quick read. So I just got this one from Amazon. I'm trying not to buy books from Amazon as much, obviously because I'm trying to find them used, but also like I don't like Amazon as a company really, but it was a moment of weakness. What can I say? I did get this one from Amazon. Then I found a really cheap copy of Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. Now, this is one that I have heard about since I started watching BookTube back in like 2015. When did this come out? 2014? No, that's a lie. 2005. Okay, so it came out a while ago. And like this edition isn't in, or this like book isn't in the best condition. Like the pages are pretty yellowed, but it was so cheap. And I was like, I just want to try it because I've seen it compared to Sarah J. Maas's writing. I haven't read it yet. I can't confirm or deny that, but I have seen multiple people say that they could see how Sarah J. Maas's writing maybe was inspired by this story. So I'm very curious to read it. And I got this for like $4 and it's signed. Obviously it's like about this girl who tests like royalties food, or she tests like a commander's food for poison. And so it says chew carefully, Maria V. Snyder. So it's like, it's signed. I got this for $4. So I was pretty happy to find that. I didn't know it was signed when I bought it. They didn't advertise for that at all. They just sold this as like in fair used condition. So that was pretty cool. Then House of Sky and Breath got released. So I have 3 copies here. I have the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition. I went to the store to get this. I bought it straight from Barnes and Noble. I didn't pre-order it this time. I did do a pre-order, but I wanted to have the physical copy in my hand on release day. And then I also had to go to Target because Target opened sooner than Barnes and Noble did, and I wasn't wasting any time on release day reading this. They all have like an extra chapter. Like the Barnes and Noble one is written from Bryce's point of view. The Target one is from Therion's point of view. And then the Books A Million edition was the one that I pre-ordered. This is Rune's point of view. And that, in the extra chapter, it's Rune's point of view. So those were the only 3 exclusive editions for this book. So I bought them all. Who's surprised? I am a little upset, though, that the Waterstones exclusive edition didn't come with blue sprayed edges because House of Earth and Blood had red sprayed edges as the Waterstones exclusive, and the Waterstones exclusive I think is the same as the Barnes & Noble exclusive because they didn't have sprayed edges, so it's a little sad. Next up is the omnibus of the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey. So the first book in this is The Risk. They have very different covers. This cover is tolerable. I actually don't mind this cover at all. I kind of like it. But the other covers, like on the ebooks, are horrible. But I read that whole series on Kindle Unlimited, and after I finished it, I knew I needed to have the physical copy. I do plan to reread this sometime this year and annotate in it because I just loved it so much. So this is all 5 books in like a bind up, and There are lots of trigger warnings on this book. If I'm hyping it up and you want to go read it, it is very hyped right now. It's like all over TikTok, but there's a lot of trigger warnings, so be mindful of that. But it is amazing. The covers, the ebook covers, don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you, okay? Even this cover, if you don't like this cover, I don't care. It's what's inside that counts. But yeah, I really wanted to have the physical copy of the books, and you can't get them like individually. They're really short. So I got the omnibus, and I do plan to reread this and annotate in this, and I'm really happy to have this. It was expensive though. So then after reading the Mind F series, I got in the mood for revenge thrillers, and that's what these next few books are. I found Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane at Half Price Books. This is the Book of the Month edition, so I could have got it as an add-on eventually, but it was only $7.99 at Half Price Books, and so it's cheaper to buy this and buy it used than to do it as an add-on. And I've heard this compared to Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, but this is like the super tame, watered-down version, and I totally agree with that. So if you've read Pretty Girls and that was too much for you and you want something kind of similar but a little less intense, try this one. But yeah, I'm really happy I found this. I was looking for like a good for her kind of book, and that's what I got. So, and then I also found The Collective by Allison Galen. This is another Book of the Month selection, but I found it on Pango Books for $3 plus shipping, but shipping's only like $3.50, so like less than $7 for this, and it's like in excellent condition. But yeah, again, I was looking for revenge thrillers, and this is a revenge thriller, and so add it to my cart, baby. This next book I found on Depop. It is the paperback of The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the first book in the Davabad trilogy. I think that's how you say it. Davabad. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but I am in a very fantasy mood, and this is a popular fantasy I have not read yet, and I believe it's only a trilogy and all 3 books are out yet, or they are out. I also really love the mandala on the cover. It's so pretty. But yeah, I found this for like $9 on Depop, and I just couldn't pass it up. So I'm very happy to have this. I can't wait to get to it. Now we will get into my Book of the Month picks for March. So I chose as my monthly pick The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This is Gabby's book club pick. And I really liked Lucy Foley's The Guest List, so I was really excited to get to this one. Obviously, I wanted to pick it up because after reading the Mind F series, I was in a thrillery mood. It's kind of funny because I was in a thriller mood, but also still a fantasy mood. That's kind of what I'm going for right now, like mystery thrillers, but also fantasy. So that's what I've been enjoying lately. But yeah, I chose this as my monthly pick because I really wanted to pick up Lucy Foley's new release, but also because it's the book troop pick. But I also really wanted to get the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. This was also a March pick, and I read Simone St. James' The Broken Girls and really liked it. This is like a paranormal thriller. So yeah, I couldn't decide between the two. Like I wanted both of them, so obviously I just did this one as an add-on. I was in the mood for like thrillery stuff, so this just made sense. The next books I picked up the entire Veronica Speedwell series. So I found the first 4 books on Depop. They were selling them. So the first 3 are in paperback. The 4th one was in hardcover, but all 4 books for $25. So it's like $6 a book. I just couldn't pass that up. I've been trying to only buy the first book in a series, see if I like it, and then I can buy the rest of them. But for this one, I just couldn't pass it up. And I have read the first 2, and I'm in the middle of the 3rd, and I'm really liking it. So I am glad that I have the whole series now. So yeah, I found the first 4 on Depop. I found An Impossible Imposter on Pango Books. I think this is the very last book. And then I have been looking for the 5th and 6th. I think these are the 5th and 6th. I'm not sure what order they go in. I've been looking for them on Pango Books and on Depop and elsewhere, and I just couldn't find them, so I just decided to buy them new because I know I'm going to want to fly through that series because I'm already on the 3rd book. So I just have the whole series now, so I don't have to wait. Then this month, I was able to go see Jan. We went to a Mayday Parade concert that was about halfway between where we both live, and she has been intending to give me these 2 books since last year. We met up last August, and she was going to bring these to me, but she forgot, so she remembered this time she brought them. So the first one is The Monarchs by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This is the second book in the Ravens series. I don't know if it's going to be a series or if it's just 2 books, but I read The Ravens. It's a very witchy book, and I did like that one. But this is an ARC copy of it. She was given, I think she got 2 ARCs she was given from different people. And so she just decided to give me one. So I haven't gotten to this one yet, but when I'm in like a witchy mood, I'll pick this one up. So thank you, Jan, for gifting me this. But she also gifted me Finlay Donovan Was Killing It, or Is Killing It, by El Casamano. She like tabbed it and stuff, but I don't think she ended up liking this one. So she was like, I don't want it. And I wanted to read this one. She was like, you can just have my copy because I'm not going to read it again. Yeah, I hated this book. But yeah, thank you, Jan, for gifting it to me. I do really appreciate that you passed it on to me. But yeah, we're going to put it down now. So since I was in a thriller mood, the next book I picked up was Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. I found this one on Pango Books. This has like a Netflix show coming out, and I saw the preview for it. I didn't really pay attention to it. I just saw that there was a preview for it, like a trailer for it. But I do really want to watch that, and so of course I have to read the book first. This is, I mean, it's Karen Slaughter, so I know it's going to be dark, so I want to be in the right mindset to pick this one up. So when I'm in the mood for a very dark thriller, this will be at the top of my list. But yeah, I found this paperback on Pango Books. Then at my local bookstore, I found a copy of Wildwood by Colin Malloy with illustrations by Carson Ellis. I saw this on Morgan Long's channel. She lives in Portland, and this book is like a fantasy set in the Portland wilderness. And it's just really cute. I believe it's a middle grade. It looks very middle grade. And it's got like illustrations throughout it. Let's see if I can find one of the color ones. Like, isn't that cute? I was just flipping through it in my local bookstore and I just couldn't pass it up. I don't know if I intend to read it, but I almost want to like rip pages out because the illustrations are so cute and like put them in my reading journal. I don't know that I'll actually do that. But I might actually read this and give it a go. I might just listen to the audiobook or something because it just looks really cute. And I just couldn't pass it up because it was only like $4 at my local bookstore. Like, it's so cute. Then I took a trip to Half Price Books and I found 3 books there. The first one being Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is like the leathery bound one with sprayed edges and a ribbon bookmark from Barnes & Noble. But I found it at Half Price Books and I do really want to read this classic at some point. I don't know if I want to save it for like Halloween time or what, but I do really want to give it a shot. And when I found this edition, I couldn't pass it up. I needed to have it. I also found The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I'm a little nervous about this one because I'm scared that it's going to be too much for me, but I have not heard a single bad thing about this book. I've heard countless people talk about this fantasy series and how much it destroyed them because it's so good, how amazing it is, and I need to find out for myself. And when I found this copy, it's a floppy paperback. So again, I'm just like, how was I supposed to let that sit there and not buy it? And then one of the books on my list that I was actually looking for at Half Price Books wasn't in like the horror section. Like, I found Dracula in the horror section and this is a horror book, but it was on like an end cap, like the end of the CD shelf thing. So I was going to check out and I turned and I saw that and I was so excited because I didn't think it was here. And that is The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates. So I haven't read any Darcy Coates, but I know she is like writes a lot of like haunted stories. And this was specifically the one I was looking for. And I just happened to find it on that end cap. I was so thrilled. It's like a treasure hunt, you know? So I was really happy to find this one. And then while I was at that Half Price Books, I found a copy of Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews, but it was like $13.50 there, and I was like, I don't know if that, yes, that's half price, but like, anyways, I didn't end up buying it. I found it on Pango Books actually though for like $8. So I'm glad that I didn't buy the one from Half Price Books because I found it for cheaper elsewhere. But this was another Ashley recommends kind of story, so I am really excited to get to this one just because I know she loved it. I don't know anything about it. She said go into it knowing as little as possible, and so that is precisely what I'm doing. At another Half Price Books, I found this in the clearance section because it has like it was cut by a box cutter almost on the dust jacket, but you almost can't notice it. It doesn't matter to me. It was only $5. I found The Betrayals by Bridget Collins. So like, first of all, this cover is stunning. The spine is stunning. But then you look under the dust jacket, like look at those end pages. But look at this. You're telling me I wasn't going to spend $5 to have this book in my possession? As soon as I told myself that I could buy those mass market fantasy paperbacks, mass market paperback fantasies, just for the hell of it, because I like how they look. You're telling me I wasn't supposed to buy this because I liked how it looked? You're joking. I also really do want to read this series. The first book is called The Binding. I have really wanted to read that one. So I'm hoping that I can find like the matching edition. I don't know if these are in print anymore, but like you can see right here on the side is where that got cut. But like, I don't care. It's only $5. So I'm hoping that I can find the Binding and read that. But like, it's just so pretty. And then these last two books I did buy new off of Amazon again. So this one is Falls Boys by Penelope Douglas. So this is her newest release. I've read most of Penelope Douglas's book. There's one other one besides this one that I have not read. Otherwise, I've read everything she's published. This is the first book in a spin-off series or companion series to the Fall Away series, the first book being Bully. This follows the children of the couples in that series. And I heard that this is kind of a little bit like a murder mystery, dark romance. So I'm into it. I really like Penelope Douglas. So I do want to get to this one. And normally I would buy this right off of Penelope Douglas's website. If you didn't know, she has like her own website where she has like frequently asked questions and stuff. But she also has a shop where she sells her books and you can get them signed. But her shop is currently closed right now. I'm assuming because there's like, she's got a lot going on with the new release. So I couldn't get it directly from her shop, but the only place then to get it was from Amazon. So I ordered this one. I am really excited to get to it. It's like a good boy, bad girl romance. So yeah, it was her newest release and I wanted to have it and now I do. And then finally, the last book that I bought was The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. I saw someone make a TikTok of this. This gets like put onto my Amazon like page, like top picks for you, or since you bought this, consider these. So I have seen this before, but I saw a TikTok of this girl saying that things are frequently compared to the ACOTAR series and like Sarah J. Maas's writing in general. Like all the time now, very frequently. Like obviously These Hollow Vows was compared to that. Even A Curse So Dark and Lonely was compared to that. It happens all the time. But she said that, yes, while it might have some comparisons, it doesn't make you feel the way that Sarah J. Maas's books do. And that this book is the first book that she's read that has made her feel similarly to how she's felt when she's read Sarah J. Maas books. And I feel like I am on a constant hunt to find books like that because nothing has really made me feel the way that Sarah J. Maas's books have made me feel. And so I definitely want to give this a shot. I'm going to go in with lower expectations though, but also hopeful, you know? I don't know anything about it other than that one TikTok I saw that girl make. And I immediately bought it because I was like, how can I not? I feel like that has been my justification for most of this. Like, how can I not buy that? Of course I'm going to buy that. I also do want to say that I have bought like extra copies of Sarah J. Maas's books because I have bought new dust jackets for them. I have a few different sets. I have the Nerdy Ink sets, which I think you could see for the ACOTAR series. I also have them for the Throne of Glass series. Still missing the last two books in that series to complete it. So I've got the dust jackets here waiting for that. Up above, I have the dust jacket sets from A Touch of Magic Designs for the ACOTAR series. And then at the very, very top of this shelf are the dust jackets from A Dusty Shop or The Dusty Shop. So I can show I can show those real quick if you want to see those, but I have bought copies of those books so that I have something to put the dust jackets on. Here are the Nerdy Ink dust jackets that I got. And I got these books to put them on. These are the A Touch of Magic Design dust jackets. Those are the Dusty Shop dust jackets. And then right here are the Nerdy Ink Throne of Glass dust jackets. I still need to get Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash. So those are all of the books. Those are all of the books that I have hauled at the beginning of the year for the first 3 months of the year. Like I said, most of these, at least the ones that I have, like that I wanted to read, I have bought used. Obviously, some of the Sarah J. Maas books that I needed, I had to buy them new. But a lot of them I have actually found used on Pango Books and Depop. So I would say a good 75% of the books that I've bought have been used, which is kind of a good goal for me. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the total number is, but I know it's definitely more than 50. I'll count after I finish filming this. And I'll put it like in the description or whatever as my like official count. I'll even count the Sarah J. Maas books. So thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, leave the book stack emoji because I've got quite the book stack here of books that I've bought. I've been having so much fun. Thank you again so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that, you know, some of these books really excite you. I know they excite me. I can't wait to read some of these ones that I haven't gotten to yet. I'm so excited. And I'm in such a reading mood right now that I can't wait to get to all of them. So thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.